What's up guys, it's Tom here, and Liverpool go out of the Champions League in the round of 16 again, just like 2 seasons ago against Real Madrid, and in an absolute heartbreaking, gut-wrenching, cruel fashion, on penalties, after in the 90 minutes Liverpool dominated Paris Saint-Germain and should have scored at least one goal, which would have been enough for Liverpool to go through. And it's never good to go out on penalties, but also Liverpool pay a heavy price because Konate went off with hopefully just cramp and hopefully it's just tiredness, but Trent Alexander-Arnold injured his ankle or his knee, so he could be out for weeks, possibly even months if it's a ligament tear. So we will analyze the full game and what exactly happened and what Liverpool need to do in the summer transfer window to ensure that we have a better team and a better squad to attack the Champions League next season, because I never expected Liverpool to even win the Premier League title before the season began. I just wanted a top 4 finish, a deep run in one of the domestic cups and a good Champions League run. And we are top of the Premier League, 15 points clear of Arsenal, which is so unexpected and so amazing. So going out of the Champions League stings a little bit less because of that, and we are also in the League Cup final, which is coming up on Sunday. But Liverpool need to win the League Cup final before the international break, otherwise this could be a really bad week where Liverpool go out of 2 cup competitions. But Paris Saint-Germain, it's just Liverpool's luck. We came up against one of the top 3 best sides in Europe. I think alongside Liverpool, PSG have been one of the best teams in Europe this season. They are unbeaten in the French league and they have only lost some tough Champions League games in the early stages of the season when PSG were still gelling. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about Liverpool going out in the round of 16 just like 2 seasons ago against Real Madrid? But that was an embarrassing 5-2 defeat at home. This was a dominant Liverpool going out to Paris Saint-Germain in the second leg, and this is also the first time in Liverpool's history that Liverpool go out after winning the first leg away from home. This is also the first time Liverpool lost a penalty shootout in European competition. I'm absolutely gutted that Liverpool lost that record. We won 3 penalty shootouts in total, one of them in the Champions League final, I think in 1984. Paris Saint-Germain also recorded the most expected goals, 2.5, of any visiting side at Anfield this season in all competitions. And overall, I can't really argue that Paris Saint-Germain deserved to go through because they recorded 4.35 XG in this whole tie between both legs. The second leg, Liverpool should have scored a goal in the 90 minutes. And Liverpool actually started so well. It was amazing. The first 25 minutes, we put Paris Saint-Germain under so much pressure. They sometimes couldn't even get out of their half for like a 5-minute period. But that's so cruel football is that, Salah had a shot blocked off the line, and he also, Virgil van Dijk had a really good header blocked on the line as well. And then from one brilliant counter-attack, Ousmane Dembele scored. And it was a fantastic piece of play because the Paris Saint-Germain midfielders, Vitinha and Fabian Ruiz, they pulled Szoboszlai and Gravenberch out of position. So there was a free tunnel in the middle of the pitch, which Vitinha finds, and he finds Dembele, who passes it to Barcola on the right hand side. He crosses it and Konate has to clear the ball. Konate slides in, and instead of just kicking the ball out for a corner, he slides in and maybe desperately he just tried to stop the cross going to Dembele, but in the end he just slides into Alisson, so Alisson can't get around Konate's sliding body to get to the ball, and Dembele is just quicker and gets there ahead of Szoboszlai and Konate to sweep it home into the empty net. But the second half, Liverpool came out roaring, and the second half, Liverpool were even more dominant. You can see the match momentum here. Apart from Paris Saint-Germain scoring and creating 1 or 2 chances, it was all Liverpool until the 90th minute. But then, Trent Alexander-Arnold got injured, so Kwanzaa had to come on, and I thought Kwanzaa did absolutely brilliantly. He was so unlucky because he hit the post with a header, and Liverpool also scored an offside goal. Diaz just went a little bit too early for the pass, and Szoboszlai scores in the end, and I was so happy for Szoboszlai. I was celebrating like crazy because he's a very Hungarian. I had this dream that Szoboszlai's goal helped Liverpool through to the quarterfinals, but it was offside, which was really cruel. But as you can see in the first half, Liverpool created a lot. We had 10 shots, but only 1 shot on target. We were very wasteful with our shooting. We missed 2 big chances. I think one of them was Salah's. It was an absolutely incredible block by Nuno Mendes, because if Salah's shot goes in the 5th minute, it would have been a completely different game. Anfield was absolutely thrilling, the atmosphere was fantastic, but if it goes in, it's Liverpool, PSG are 1-0 down in the second leg, and that's 2-0 up for Liverpool. I don't think PSG come back from that. But Dembele scored this goal. They had a very high SG in the first half, because Dembele's goal was basically, the goal was already on the line, and he had like a 0.94 XG for that. But otherwise, it wasn't even, chance creation. Second half, though, Liverpool, the second 45 minutes, Liverpool were absolutely dominant, fantastic, and those 3 shots, 2 of them came in the last 3 minutes of the second half. So Liverpool should have scored a goal in the second half. Kwanzaa hits the post, as I said. Liverpool had the goal disallowed. An extra time with, McAllister picking up a yellow card. He had to be substituted so he doesn't get sent off. And Szoboszlai was very tired, so he was substituted at half-time in extra time. And you could maybe argue that Arne Slot could have kept Szoboszlai on for the penalties, because he's a great penalty taker. He takes penalties regularly for the Hungary national team. The bottom line is Paris Saint-Germain were better in extra time. They had more energy, especially in the second half of extra time. You can see the stats on the screen. They had 73% possession. They kept the ball very well, and they created some really good chances. They actually had more shots on target in the second half of extra time than in the previous 105 minutes, which is really, really crazy. And Diogo Jota had a really, really awful game, I felt. It looks like his legs or his physicality is gone since his injury hit season, and I'm not sure what it is, but he just didn't have any space, because Paris Saint-Germain were also high pressing like crazy. Trent Alexander-Arnold's injury is very unfortunate, and Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott just weren't good enough in extra time to control the midfield. It was PSG who controlled the midfield. Cody Gakpo came on, but it looked like clearly he had come back from injury a little bit too soon, and he couldn't really get into the game. And then penalties, and I'm not blaming the Liverpool going out on Nunez and Curtis Jones, because anybody who has the guts to stand up and take a penalty has respect in my eyes. And Darwin Núñez was just unlucky because it was a pretty good penalty. Donnarumma is just a specialist on penalties. He's just absolutely brilliant. And Curtis Jones' penalty was not as good as Núñez. He still got saved. Salah scored a brilliant penalty. Alisson should have saved Vitinha's penalties, Joe. Vitinha, the first taker in the whole penalty shootout. And Liverpool got unlucky, not just with drawing Paris Saint-Germain, but with the coin toss, what is that? So with the coin toss, Liverpool got unlucky because Paris Saint-Germain chose the PSG end to take the penalties at, so it wasn't at the cup end, which would have helped Liverpool, of course. But Vitinha's penalty is a P-roller. It's so weak, but Alisson waits a little bit too long to dive, and he gets a hand to it but couldn't keep it out. The other 3 Paris Saint-Germain penalties were absolutely sensational. Alisson had absolutely no chance, even though he guessed it right a couple of times. Ramos, Dembele and Doué, what a player. By the way, Desiree Doué is, they were just scoring into the top corner or into the, next to the post. They were brilliant penalties. And Núñez and Jones missing, I feel for them. Because, if McAllister is on the pitch, if Szoboszlai is on the pitch, then we would have had better penalty takers. The bottom line is Liverpool played really well for 90 minutes in this tie, and that wasn't enough. And we got very lucky in the first leg that we won, but maybe that luck went to PSG this time, because Liverpool created so many chances. Salah had a shot cleared off the line, as I said. Kwanzaa had a header in the 76th minute, which hit the post. And Both Konate and Trent Alexander picking up injuries. This is not ideal before the cup final. Context is everything, and you have to put this into context. Paris Saint-Germain are one of the best teams in Europe this season. Liverpool are desperately unlucky that they finished in 15th place in the Champions League and got drawn against Liverpool, because I think the draw mechanism should be fixed and corrected next season. Because it's not right that Inter get Feyenoord, that Arsenal get PSV Eindhoven, that Aston Villa get Club Brugge. Aston Villa finished in 8th place and they get the lowest ranked team, Club Brugge, qualified as the 24th team. After the playoffs are finished, they should reseed the teams in terms of league position in the Champions League, and the top should get the lowest ranked team who qualifies through the playoffs. So Liverpool should have had Club Brugge. Kvaratskhelia, I thought, was absolutely brilliant. He had a few shots. Alisson made some absolutely crazy saves from Dembele as well. Donnarumma also made a lot of saves, a lot of punches. And as you can see, this Paris Saint-Germain team are very, very good. They are 3 years younger on average than Liverpool's team, which shows that maybe in extra time they just had a little bit more energy. And also in the French league, Paris Saint-Germain are cruising to the title and Liverpool have to exert a lot of energy. Here are all the shots from the 79th minute. So Jero Kwanzaa hit the post with his header and then the ball trickles on the line. So just 1 or 2 inches inside the post and it goes in off the post. That's so desperately unlucky. Kvaratskhelia had 2 shots in at the end of the second half, and then apart from a Salah shot which was off target, it was all Paris Saint-Germain. In extra time, Paris Saint-Germain had 11 shots, Liverpool had 1, which shows that Liverpool just ran out of energy, ran out of steam, and Paris Saint-Germain started dominating the game. So Liverpool hang on to penalties. You know, it wasn't to be, because Donnarumma is a specialist at penalties. And Liverpool have a lot of work to do in the transfer market. We need a new left back, even though Andy Robertson was pretty great in this game. Trent Alexander was pretty great as well. But it's clearly evident that Liverpool need a new left back. We need a new centre back as well. Joe Gomez is injury prone. You know, Konate and Van Dijk are great, but we need more than just them two. We need another class centre back. And Kwanzaa is a great young talent, but you can't rely on him in most Premier League games. And potentially Liverpool need a new right back as well, with Trent Alexander leaving. So that's just 3 defenders that Liverpool need to sign. All 3 of them need to be absolute class. We need a new striker because Darwin Núñez is off. I felt for him. He was absolutely devastated after missing that penalty. It's just not Darwin Núñez's season. And I'm not sure if Diogo Jota is finished or if he's just having a hard time after getting so many injuries, getting back up to speed, getting the match sharpness. But today against Paris Saint-Germain, Jota lost the ball so many times. He failed to hold up the ball so many times. With Darwin Núñez, we had so much more of an outlet to pass the ball onto. And Darwin Núñez, with his physicality, with his pace, he held the ball up, he worried and occupied the Paris Saint-Germain defense. And Liverpool have one elite forward, Mo Salah, and also Cody Gakpo, who is world class, but Luis Diaz has been very inconsistent, Darwin Núñez as well, and Diogo Jota has been very in and out of the side with injuries. So even though on paper Liverpool have 6 great attackers, Chiesa is not fancied by Arne Slot for some reason. Arne Slot just never uses Chiesa, which is weird to me. Maybe Chiesa is not physical enough for Arne Slot's playing style, I'm not sure. But Chiesa will be sold probably in the summer. Darwin Núñez will be sold. And there are big question marks about the future of Jota and Luis Diaz. You can't, replace 4 of your attackers in one transfer window. So I would maybe keep Diaz and Jota unless we get an amazing offer for Luis Diaz. If we get a 60-70 million pound offer for Diaz, then I would sell him as well. And then it's a major rebuild in the Liverpool attack. And of course there are question marks about Mo Salah's contract. Liverpool haven't been lucky in the Premier League, but they haven't suffered the same level of bad luck that others have with injuries. Liverpool's bad luck came in the Champions League, because the best side in the Champions League isn't supposed to play a top 3 side in the first knockout phase of the Champions League with a bad referee as well. So Liverpool's luck were just absolutely rotten that we got one of the best teams in Europe in Paris Saint-Germain. There is no shame going out to them because they are capable of winning the Champions League. That's how good they are. PSG have a significantly better attack. Liverpool have Salah, and with Gakpo being injured, Liverpool didn't have the attack, Liverpool didn't have the firepower to take the chances that we created. That's the biggest issue, biggest worry for me. That Diaz, Jota, Nunez didn't take our chances, and you can't rely on Mo Salah in every single game to score and to bail you out. And the worst thing is that we went through extra time and penalties just to go out. We lost Konate and Trent Alexander to injuries as well. And yes, Salah probably should have scored in this game, but you can't expect Salah to score in every single game. You have to have others step up. And you could argue that our forwards had pretty awful performances by them. So Liverpool signing a striker is an absolute must. Mo Salah also moves level with Steven Gerrard with 73 Champions League appearances. Is this Salah's last Champions League game for Liverpool? I really hope not, but Salah was crying after Liverpool got knocked out of the Champions League, which shows how much he wanted this, and his form this season is worthy of a renewal, 100%, and hopefully Liverpool will get this contract sorted out. But Liverpool still have the League Cup final to look forward to, we still have the Premier League title to look forward to. Liverpool have to get over the line, and I think going out of the Champions League, now Liverpool can just focus on getting as many points in the Premier League as possible and win the Premier League by hopefully the biggest margin, because Liverpool have a chance to win the Premier League by 20 points or even more. Let's just win it as soon as possible. And yes, Liverpool lacked that cutthroat, cutting edge that you have to have in the Champions League. And it's very hard to win the Champions League with just one top forward. Gakpo being injured for the PSG tie was a huge miss, because Gakpo, I felt, would have been a lot more threatening than Luis Diaz. And we will fix this in the summer. I think you could have an argument that we could sign a right winger, a striker and a left winger. The problem is Liverpool can't do like 6 or 7 top transfers in one transfer window, because we don't have that kind of money. So we need to sell well. We need to sell Nunez for a lot of money. We need to sell Joe Gomez maybe. We need to sell Tsimikas. We need to sell maybe Tyler Morton. I would keep Vatarendo because he's great and he can play in a lot of position. And Jota has the finishing, but he lacks the pace and he lacks the height and maybe the strength to play on the counter. Diaz has the pace and the dribbling, but he doesn't have the composure and the finishing. Gakpo has a great shot, but he lacks maybe a little bit of pace, but he can dribble with the ball. Darwin has the pieces. He has it all, basically, all the attributes, but he's just very inconsistent, very emotional as well. And against the best teams, maybe it wasn't enough. Our attack wasn't enough, and we couldn't get Szoboszlai or McAllister or Trent Alexander to score a goal in this extra time. Salah has been carrying Liverpool's attack the whole season, and Liverpool needed another attacker to step up. With Gakpo being injured, nobody could. But also you have to take it into consideration that Liverpool are so far ahead in our development under Arne Slot than we expected it to be. At the start of the season, we expected a really inconsistent up and down season. It's a new manager, and he's new to the whole league, he's new to English football. So you expected, Liverpool to have an inconsistent season where we win one week, we lose the next week. We lost one Premier League game all season, and also in the Champions League. We went on a brilliant run, winning our first 7 Champions League games. We beat Leverkusen, we beat Man City, we beat Real Madrid, we beat Man City home and away. We just haven't come up against a team like Paris Saint-Germain. That's the bottom line. PSG were the best team that Liverpool played this season, and it's so unfair and so unlucky that Liverpool met PSG so early. Because this could have been a semi-final or the final. PSG are that good that I fancy them to get at least to the semi-finals and maybe even to win the Champions League. I wouldn't be totally shocked and surprised if PSG win the Champions League. In Arne Slot's first season, we could win 2 trophies, which would be like beyond my wildest expectations before the season began. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.